There's a crazy amount of info dropping about My Hero Academia All's Justice from a bunch of different media outlets that play the game at TGS this past weekend. Bandai Namco just released a trailer that you may have seen announcing the release date and giving you the first look at the open world gameplay of Story Mode. But these journalists actually got to play in this game mode for a bit, and they have a lot of new footage. On top of that, PlayStation put out a blog with more details, and the website just got updated, which confirms a lot of new characters. I'm gonna try to condense all of this into a single video, so you're all caught up with All's Justice, but if you really want to go into a crazy deep dive, I'm leaving links to all my sources in the description. So let's start with the release date. The big news that came out from the trailer. All's Justice is releasing early next year on February 6th. A release date that's looking pretty good to me right now. I mean, the previous week we have 7 Deadly Sins and Code Vein, so I think there's enough distance here for My Hero to come out. Neo 3 is coming out on the same day, but I don't know if those two audiences cross that much. So it's a great release date for now. Now, we knew this game featured some kind of open world, but as soon as they showed it in the trailer, it kind of went beyond my expectations. I was expecting something very simple, where you just walk around from mission to mission, but they've built up some mobility systems for every character and a ton of missions and side missions that go beyond simple combat. This is called the Team Up Mission Mode, and at TGS this year, they talked a lot about this mission where you rescue a cat. It seems to be one of the early missions, since all you need to do is switch characters, jump to a rooftop, and the mission is done. There's another mission where you gotta go meet Hawks within the time limit, and while Deku is great at being a legally distinct Spider-Man, if you need height, then Uraraka is gonna be your best option, at least early on. The trailer also shows us Bakugo, and he can propel himself with his own explosions. Ida can sprint, as you would expect. Froppy can climb the side of buildings, and the PlayStation blog has this cool clip of Todoroki surfing the ice through town. Now, of course, this mode also has its combat moments, but it seems that you also have combat against multiple enemies, at least according to the trailer. None of the media outlets were able to capture this, so all we really have is from the trailer. But you can clearly see this brawling section where Deku is fighting against multiple enemies at the same time. And progressing in this team-up mission mode unlocks episodes in Hero's Diary, which seems to be original cutscenes with Class 1A members interacting with each other. This game will have a more traditional story mode that just follows the anime, as we've seen in trailers so far, but it's crazy how far beyond that they went, making this whole other mode with an original game story. And it doesn't feel like a side mode at all when it's so populated with different mission types, side quests, and even the Hero's Diary thing. It provides a ton of game original content, and it's all voice acted from the looks of it. Suddenly, if anything, the Canon story feels like the side mode, but even that is probably unfair to say, since they keep showing a lot of good quality cutscenes. Viking truly leveled up their cinematics, and granted, One's Justice 2 also had a few of these, and they were very sparse. I did feel a little clickbaited with the trailers of One's Justice 2, because yes, the cutscenes looked great, but then there was like 2 of them. I don't think that's happening this time around because how confident they are in showing more and more of these cutscenes each trailer. This is already the most cinematic story mode that Viking has ever done, and even if between these cutscenes we go back to having those comic strip slideshows, I think it's safe to expect a big level up from the previous game. Now, it seems like this Canon story mode will only cover the manga's final arc. Everything before then might take place in another game mode that they're calling the Archives Battle mode. Archives Battle also seem to be complete with their own cutscenes, but doing it this way saves them the trouble of having to tell you the whole story in full and lets them focus on just the battles themselves. It's almost the opposite of the open world mode that we just talked about. The focus there seems to be on building up these characters as heroes. More than brawlers, they're going around helping people, but in this game mode, the Archives Battle, it's all about fighting. So it feels like there's a little something for everyone. I am so impressed by this game's offering in single player content right now, but luckily, the good news doesn't stop there. The trailer showed a bunch of characters for the first time, and when they are in the player's perspective, you can feel pretty good about confirming them as playable. So in that position, we saw Mirko, Best Jeanist, Edgeshot, and Lady Nagant. I don't think all of these were guaranteed picks for the base roster. I mean, watch my roster prediction if you want to know more, but I'm so happy they made it. Until I have to deal with this zoning myself, I'm so happy they made it. But the trailer did leave me with some questions. For instance, Hood. We see Endeavor fighting against it, but will Hood be playable? Luckily, they updated the website confirming not only that, but a bunch of other characters. First of all, they're not cutting any of the previous Dekus. All 4 of them will be playable. Could actually be 5 Dekus according to the end of the trailer, but to be confirmed. We see some of the previously teased characters like Young Alpha 1, Iron Might, but we also got 2 lobbies. The one from the previous game has made it. They did not cut him out. We also see 2 Shigarakis, but that does mean that we are missing 1. Shigaraki before style is not here. Not sure if they're cutting him out or not. This doesn't confirm anything. There are a lot of characters that are still missing from the screen who were in Once Justice 2. Characters like Gran Torino, Muscular, Inasa, and many more. Not to mention characters like Spinner or Redestro, who will most likely make it to this game too. This roster has 51 confirmed characters right now, and I'm still expecting it to go beyond 70. But even if it doesn't, even if they do cut characters from the previous game, this roster is already incredible. I don't think we can complain about that. And this is before their just announced Season Pass, which is gonna have 5 characters. The Season Pass is kind of interesting for this game in particular, since this is gonna end the My Hero Academia story. It's the final arc. That means they cannot pull characters from the future, because there's no future. So it will be interesting to see who they pick. Will they go for vigilantes, or are there going to be some holes in the roster that they're going to be plugging? Like, I could see Stars and Stripes being saved for DLC, for instance, and they demote her to a cutscene in story mode. Regardless, the roster is incredible, and a lot of these returning characters have been remixed. They are not simply just ported over to the new game. I mean, look at Ragnarok, man. That's so cool. Last but not least, on the Japanese website, there's a spec comparison table that may look a little bit boring to you, but to me it confirmed the feature that has been missing from the previous Once Justice games, and that is lobbies. Up to 8 people can participate in room matches, which means we might finally have a way to spectate other players. This is going to be huge for events. Now, even though this is a game that's not coming out for the previous generation, it doesn't support 4K or HDR on console. You can do 4K on PC, but consoles are locked to 1080p. That's a bit of a bummer, honestly. It should all run in 60 FPS, however, so there's that upside, but when you cut the previous generation, I'm expecting the game to not be held back in any way. I'm a little sad to not see the 4K resolution here. If you're buying it on PC, here are the minimum and recommended requirements, but as usual, there's no mention of crossplay whatsoever, so if you are getting this game for the multiplayer, I will always recommend PlayStation first, PC second, and Xbox never. Get the game on Xbox if you want to play through the single player content, but don't come complaining to me if you cannot find online matches a week after launch, or if the game is full of issues that Bandai refuses to fix. They don't care. So you should not support these games on Xbox, but that's just my take. And with that, I think we're all up to date on My Hero Academia All's Justice, a game that seems to be much bigger than I initially expected for sure. Super happy with the lobbies, super happy with the single player game modes, super happy with the roster. So at this point, I gotta ask you guys, what are your concerns regarding this game? After all of these good news, what's keeping you skeptical? Let me know your worries in the comments down below. And for more anime games, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching. Bye.